I'm important. I got to come to a balance. And I'm glad that you asked me that question, because in one of my classes, I talked about self-care.
Self-care. Well, elaborate on self-care then.
Self-care is 3 things that I told in this last section that I had with a couple ladies. And it was some men in there as well. I'm important.
Right.
I'm priority. And I have self-boundaries. I'm important. So when you get to that mindset that you're important, that's when it starts to make those transitional changes. And you start making the changes that's necessary.
Well, when you say priorities, is that priorities that you have set your goals, or just priorities from what you're going to take in, what you're not going to take, how you're going to run your day? Like, what's meant by the priorities?
Priorities is whatever I do, I need to make sure that I'm doing it. That's the healthiness for me. I'm going to set my boundaries, because we can be a garbage can if we allow ourselves to be a garbage can.
Yeah, especially now with the internet and all this social media, is it too much? So that leads to, when it's a lot, you mentioned that I'm going to set my boundaries. Now, some may be taking that boundary like, what you mean, you're a woman, what you mean you're going to set your boundaries. So we're not talking about that. But there is some things that you got to accept and not accept.
Right.
So giving a couple examples from a male perspective on what type of boundaries that we probably need to set, or just give a little guideline, and then do the same thing for the ladies.
I would say for the men, when you're setting your boundaries, first you got to know who you are. You got to know who I am, who's the creator, what is the importance of me being a male. But here comes the self-care part. What am I going to allow someone to invade me, to make me feel like I'm not that man I need to be? Or am I going to set the boundaries? When you set the boundaries, you're setting your boundaries to allow yourself to grow more in self, but to be able to understand that you have to be open to the person's other self that is coming in to the relationship, because they're important.